All right, what's good, YouTube? So, as you can see, we got a little bit of a different setup today. We're doing an album review. I was trying to, do an album review and do each of these individually, but they all drop so fast, and I kind of got behind on being able to listen through each song and each album, and then, the way I normally would. So I just ran through them, listened to them, and gave them one good long, one good healthy listen, pretty much, and just kind of got my opinions. And I'm gonna run through these albums again. I'm only gonna do three out of the four albums that I got pulled up here, because Eternal Take just came out today, I believe, and I haven't. I've listened through it, but I haven't gone fully through it. But these other three, the one that we're going through, we're going to kind of grade these and kind of go over them. We're going to do them a little bit different. So today we're going over Ian's album, Goodbye Horses. We're going over Thouxanbanfauni's Live Wire, and then we're going to go over Yeat's Lifestyle. And we're going to do pretty much like an album review. I'm kind of just do this one as like a battle royale, put the three together and see which of the three I kind of like better and one has the better songs. So we'll start off with Ian. So pop out my good old trusty phone, and we're going to see how many of Ian's songs I got in this playlist, along with versus how many songs are on the playlist. So out of let's see how many I got. One. So out of Ian's playlist, I got seven songs, and Ian's album has 13 songs. So they basically, I already know that off top. It's like 50%. So not exactly, but it's a little over 50%. And we'll get the exact number. So that way we always keep it fair. So that's roughly what Ian's album rating is based off of, kind of how I do stuff. We'll just call it 54%. 54%. So not too bad, not too good either. It's kind of like an average song, or an average tape. I definitely would give it about a 5 out of 10. It's kind of on par with what I was expecting. Very average. It's not bad. I like Ian as an artist. A lot of his songs aren't bad or anything like that. However, oh well, let me go through the songs that I do like. Okay, so I like Showboat, Till I Die, On the Floor, Out West, Shithead, Older, and Loco. So with these songs, I like a lot of Ian's song. I kind of like his style. It's definitely somebody that's kind of growing on me. Only kind of downside I don't really. That the biggest obstacle that I have with Ian is that I can tell Ian is a new artist and is still developing and kind of making his sound. But to me, it sounds like Ian's kind of doing more imitation. Like he's doing what sounds cool and looks good and rapping about. I don't necessarily think that's what's coming out in his rap is something that he even actually lives and whatnot. Like if you look at it, like oh well, it won't even let me zoom in. But even if you look at like his album cover, for example, right? He's talking about like fucking bitches, get blunts and smoking blunts and doing all kinds of other kind of stuff out, that's not crazy, but if you look at the person that he is, like, it looks like he's more like looking. He reminds me more of like the white boy athlete that was cool, black dudes or whatever in school or whatever. He was a cool dude, and he just kind of was cool with everybody, but just happened to find one little niche or one little group that he clicked with really well that he stood outside of. So it kind of would be like if you had that one, I don't know, jock guy. He's the guy that he's a he might be the starting middle linebacker for his high school football team. Everybody knows him. He's not the most popular person in the world, but he's known at his school, and but he's friends with like I don't know the anime kids. So like you'll see, that's kind of what he reminds me of. He kind of is he sticks out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? It's kind of like in this music industry and the style of rap that he kind of is portraying. It's like he sticks out because he's literally like a suburban like white kid. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I just think his image, his style, and his look don't necessarily match his bars and what he's rapping, and that may be working towards his benefit. I do like him. I like him as an artist. I do think he needs more time to develop and kind of figure his sound out, his style, and really kind of put himself together. Because his image doesn't necessarily match what he's portraying in his music, and the music's not bad, but there's some ups and downs with the music that I see with him that I like and I dislike. But overall, I definitely would give Ian about a 5 out of 10. I'd say he's just about average. He's pretty much what I was expecting, right? So now we're gonna move on to the next one, right? Actually, we're not gonna go to the next one. We're going to Yeah, we'll go on to the next one. It doesn't matter. We'll just go to Thousand Fawny's album. So Fawny's album has 17 songs. I think that's kind of lengthy. And then what Ian's had 13. I think 13 is pretty straight. 17 songs, you're getting kind of long and up there, to be honest with you. Out of these 17 songs, I liked, let's see what we got. Where is it? Live Wire. Now, I'm a fan of Fawny. I'm definitely a Fawny fan. I got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9 out of 17 songs. So let's see where Fawny that puts Fawny. Oops, I did that backwards. I don't know why I keep doing that. That puts him at about 52. So we'll just round him up and say 53. So right around where Ian is. So we'll say we got Ian at what, 54, Fawny at 53. We'll just roughly say they're about the same. The songs that I liked from this album were I liked Beyond Saving, Jumpstart, Burn Bridges, DVN, pH Balance, Shawty My Speed, or it really says Shock My Speed, but Shock My Speed, Villain Arc, Thoughty, and Top. Right. So with this album in particular, I give it a rating of about a five, just like I give Ian's. However, that's based off of the songs that I like. If I were to just have listened to this album and just gave it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, and the same thing with Ian's I would have gave a 5. On Fawny's, I would probably give it about, I'd probably say like a 6, 6.5, because there's some things that I really like and there's some things that I kind of dislike. So the things that I really liked about Fawny's album in particular, like I always like, he always got good beat selection. His lyrics and his bars are always pretty good, and his style is usually pretty good. The only thing I don't like, sometimes Fonny, he's gotten more into like singing a little bit. I don't like when he sings. I like more when he raps. Um, I think this is a good album for him to kind of jump back out there and put himself out there, because there was an album before that he put out. What's the name of that album? Let's see. That way I make sure I get all my info right. Yeah, the Orange album. That album was okay. It wasn't bad or anything like that. There's a couple other, and I actually think that was just a bunch of throwaways, to be honest with you. But anyway, back to this album. This album's pretty good. I definitely give it about a 6, 6.5, so slightly above average. Not a bad album. I enjoyed it. I like the fact that Fonny's kind of back out there getting putting more music out, and he's putting like a solid tape together. Because I don't recall seeing or hearing any of these like leaking or getting put out there. Whereas in his previous album, like in the Orange one, a lot of them were just repeats that he kind of just, they were leaks, and then he put them together, made an album, and then threw a couple of extra new songs in there, if I remember correctly. I like his beat style and his beat selection of what he's picking out, like his bars and his lyrics. The thing that like I said, I dislike is just like the singing a little bit more and the auto tune. I do wish there was some more features. Like I wish there was at least a Uno the Activist feature, a Man Man Savage feature would have been nice. Who else wouldn't mind hearing him with? Like Diego Money would have been nice on here, or ATL Smook or somebody like that. A couple of those, maybe like one or two features on here. That would have been nice. It would have been nice to see some features, some other features on here with Ian as well, because I really like that Chief Keef song. However, I'm not a super big Ian guy, so I don't know who would actually match up well with him, to be honest. But I wanted to see some, maybe one or two more features with Fonny, maybe a LC Levi feature. They usually make a pretty good song as well too. And yeah, I definitely give this a good 6 out of 10. I like that he's kind of getting back out there. He's changing his style up a little bit. He's growing and developing, and trying some new things. I'm liking what I'm seeing with what Fonny's putting out there and kind of getting himself back out there. Because I kind of feel like out of all the artists that I dealt with and worked with, Fonny was one of those ones that was actually kind of real and kept everything, straightforward and was cool. And I don't think he ever got as much recognition as he kind of deserved and should have gotten. I think he kind of, out of Playboy Cardi, Uno the Activist, and Fawny, when they were like Splur Gang and all together and whatnot, I think he kind of got the least amount of attention. I think Uno ended up getting more just because he happened to sound the most like Cardi, and he was kind of beefing with him for a little while. I mean, they all three beefed for a little while, but I remember Uno was really going hard about it, like saying he was stealing his style and whatnot. Which actually, I forgot. Uno actually posted like a little EP, and I'll go over that too in another video. But yeah, overall, I would definitely give this a good strong six. I'd say it's definitely better than the Ian tape. I like the bars and the verses better on the Fauni tape. Definitely a really good album. Go check out both of them. Next, we're gonna hop over and check out Yeat's Lifestyle album. Right, this was a really good album as well too. Not bad at all. I actually like this way better than the last one. I really didn't like the last one at all, to be honest with you. Like that, there were songs that I liked on it, but I really just didn't think his last album was that good. And to be honest with you, I think this is why this album actually came out. I think this Lifestyle album came out to kind of help clear up and clean up some of the stuff from the previous album, because I don't think that album hit the way that they thought it was going to hit. This should have been the album that came out first, and then personally, I think they should have just left that previous album. That what is it supposed to be, like a dang, what's that movie? A Mad Max type of spinoff. Like there's was not a fan. Like not a fan at all. All right, so on this Lifestyle album, there is a total of 22 songs. I think that's way too long. Like I remember when I was listening through this through the first time, I kind of remember getting around like this area of song 13, 14, 15, or something like that, and kind of thinking like, damn, like I'm still listening to Yeat. Like I wish this would kind of hurry up. And when I was thinking that, that made me wonder, like, do I actually like this song, like this album and whatnot? And I would think overall, it's an okay album. Out of the 22 songs I've got, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. I got nine, right? And I don't think that's a good ratio at all. 22 out of 9, that's less than 50% for sure. That puts us at, dude, why do I keep doing that? That puts us at about, oh, wait a minute, 40%. We'll say 41. So we got Ian at 54, Fonny at 50, what, 3, I believe, and then I got Yeat at 41. And I think that's pretty fair. I would give Yeat's album probably about like a 4, maybe 5 tops. Fonny is definitely a good, like, about a 6, maybe 6.5. Ian, I'd say is 5, is just average, is right on par with what I thought. Um, but back over to Yeat. So I like Yeat's beat selection, and I like beat style of rap, but sometimes I feel like Yeat is just getting by off of the simple fact that he just raps and says some fast stuff. Because if you listen to his older music, he didn't rap fast like how he does now, and he's more of a had more lyrics to it. Right now, what he's doing is just a lot of, and that's pretty much all every one of these songs, where like it was just a lot of fast rapping, and then adding to me, to be honest with you, Yeat reminds me of like a watered down white guy version of Travis Scott, almost. Not in his rap style, but like how more like Travis Scott is a good artist and a good rapper, but he puts on more of a show and like a performance, and it's a more emphasis on creating a piece of work of art with his music art, the song that he's making. That's why he's got all the effects and the auto tune. And like, if you ever notice, if he's making a song, he'll lower his octave and it sounds like a monster's talking or something, like, or when he does his edits, like straight up or whatever. It's like it's always different. It's kind of like a show, like a mental show that you can picture while you're listening to it. And I think Yeat kind of portrays that and does that, but his style of rap kind of makes it hard for that to happen, because it's just a lot of fast rapping about stuff that we've all heard before: lean, Zans, pills, weed, drugs, and guns, and women. Like, I've heard all of that. So you just doing it and rapping it faster doesn't necessarily make it better. Like, if I tell somebody, I don't know, they're ugly and stupid, me saying it faster doesn't make it any better. Like, if I say you're ugly and stupid, like, it still hits the same if I say you're ugly and stupid. Like, it's still the same. So rapping faster doesn't mean better. And I think a lot of artists right now with that punch in fast rapping think that if I rap fast and put a simple bar and make it fast and put another simple bar fast behind it, it's just gonna make it's gonna sound like I did bar for bar, and I just dropped some hits, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But a lot of people have the concept that rapping fast is going to sound better. And like I say, I like a lot of his songs, and I like him as an artist, and I'd work with all three of these artists. I like all of them quite a bit. It's just that I just feel like I think a lot of the newer artists are kind of getting by with the skin of their teeth by small things. Like I know I've said something about race twice, but that's only because you've got two white artists that I'm listening that were kind of portraying. But I don't think if Yeat was a black dude, and I don't think if Ian was a black dude rapping the same way, I don't think they would. I don't think they would hit the same. To be honest with you, I think they would. I think that's kind of part of their lore. It's like you got two white guys that I don't know, make the can make this type of sound that typically does not go with that culture essentially. Um, I like both of them. I like all three artists. All three artists make great music and great work. I just think that I just feel like these two in particular kind of get by because of that, and then I also feel like they get a little bit more hype because of their rap style, and they sound really similar too. I actually wouldn't mind hearing the Yeet and the Ian song together. I think that'd probably hit. I'm surprised neither one of them tried to do that because that would have like if Yeet had a song on his album with Ian and Ian had a song on his album with Yeet, both of their albums would have went up. Like they probably would have just popped off. But I don't think that'll happen, and I'm not even sure that these two people would even interact. Um, it'd be kind of cool to see Fonny work with like either one of these, but I don't. But even with Fonny's style, like for example, I don't think I would really see a Fonny song and an Ian song because when Fonny's rapping about his stuff, and I notice in Fonny's a lot of these Fonny songs, he's rapping more and more about drug use and like heavy drug use. One of the songs he was talking about girls hitting coke lines and all that stuff. So he's gotten really heavy into like the drug use rap, and I mean I don't know if that's is what it is personally. I have no idea, but I just noticed he mentioned a lot more in here in this album than he has previously. But I don't think I could see like a Fonny and an Ian like collab, but that would be nice to see and kind of see it unfold. But I just think they're so too far ends of the spectrum. They rap the same type of stuff, but you got Ian that's way over on this side of the spectrum and Fonny on this side of the spectrum, and there's like it's like these people don't even it would be weird to see those two people even in the same room. Even if you took somebody like Ian and put him in the same room as a Yeet and you saw them, didn't know who they were, I think it would be like they're two different ends of the spectrum, even though they're in the same genre. Because all three of these artists are in the same genre, but they all have a different style, a little different cadence, but they all are portraying the same stuff. I don't know. But if you were to back me in the corner and take all three of these albums and somebody said, hey, you got to listen to one of these albums, the other two you can't listen to ever again, I'm picking the Fonny album all day. And it's not because I'm biased, because I've met Fonny and spent time with him and made music with him or anything like that. I genuinely believe that Fonny put a better piece of work together. The only downside is with Fonny being the more experienced artist out of the two, the older artist out of the two, I was slightly hoping and expecting something a little bit better. I was hoping he would edge out and be like, let's say he would have got a 60% or a 65%, whereas the other two stayed at the 41 and 54. I was expecting that to kind of play out just due to his age, his experience, and the time in the game. If you consider like from start to finish, like Fonny's been making music for years, so I was expecting a little bit more from him. So that's kind of where it's a take back for him, but also too at the same time, it just goes to show that even over time after years later you can like this artist in particular makes really good quality music and the talent's there just like this artist Ian is going to have time to grow, develop, and become the artist that he can and probably should be. We just got to kind of give him time and see how he develops. And the same thing with Yeat. Like I say, I like all of these artists. I think all of these artists are great. There is no, like, I'm not bashing one. I'm not saying one's better than the other. But out of these three albums in particular, I'd have to give it to Fonny just because I like that better. I like that they all three experimented a little bit differently. But I like the fact that Fonny's experimentation went a little bit better in my opinion. And I think that comes from his experience and being older and being in the game longer. Whereas the other two, they're kind of experiment, but they're kind of seeing what hits. That's why you have Yeat's album that was before Lifestyle was totally different than what this is. Fonny's never put out an album that was like that. And then I think with Ian, it's kind of like I really feel like Ian made one or two songs just kind of for fun. Like, oh, let me rap this style. Oh shit, I'm actually kind of decent. Oh, people actually fuck with it. All right, well, let me continue. Because a lot of the stuff I've never met him, spoke to him, or anything like that. I don't know if he's living the life that he's rapping in these songs, but his image does not match what we're seeing necessarily. Like you would think Ian is like a Yeat are funny, but then you see him and he's like an athlete, like a white guy jock athlete. Then you hear Yeat's music, and you think he's like a just leaned out Zan head, like almost pothead hippie white dude. And that's what you kind of hear when you hear when he's listening to his music. But then when you see him, he gives off a bit of a different, more of a different appearance, like a just kind of out there, just different, just like he's a different guy. And there's nothing wrong with that because it all fits to their style, and I think it all works well for him. And then when you hear Fauни's music and then see him, I feel like he fits the mold, like face tats, talking about lean and weed and stuff like that, smoking and whatnot. Like he looks the part more so. So I feel like package wise overall, Fauni has the better package. I think putting yourself out there and experimenting and having a cult and building a really quick cult following, Yeat's got that unlocked. And as far as being an experimental, like almost seeming like you're a industry plant and just popping up out of nowhere with some decent music and some hits, is Ian. So they're all three very different, but similar enough to where you can compare it to the two. So like I say, in my personal opinion, I'd give it to Fauni out of these three because they all dropped in the same month. So it's kind of hard to have done all of these as quickly as they all dropped, and they all dropped like right simultaneously. But I'd give the edge to Fauni. I would give Fauni about a 6.5, like I say. But I think that's pretty fair. And then, like I said, I think Ian is about a 5. I think the Lifestyle album, Yeats, I'd probably give that. I give it like a 5.5. Yeah, maybe about a 5.5, maybe a 6 because of the beat selection. I do like Yeat, and he's been around a little bit longer than Ian, so I'm kind of biased because of previous songs and whatnot. Like that. Like I've been listening to Yeat when he made that one song, that Hannah Montana, where he kept saying Hannah Montana, Hannah Montana, and then if you were to listen to that song versus what you're listening to now, you'd understand like, okay, this is a very different artist from then versus now. So I see what he's talking about as far as it's changed and he's experimenting. But I know this was a little bit longer, but I mean, we got 3 album reviews in all at one time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next week, I do plan to do an album review on Eternally Take 2. I ran through it the first time already once, and I'm not going to give any type of opinion or any insight to it yet. But we're going to go over that next week. And then I've got a video after that where a supporter of mine was asking me to do something in FL Studio, so then we'll hop into FL Studio on that. So I wanted to knock out these 3 since they all dropped at the same time, and I didn't want to spread these out over the course of like 3 or 4 weeks and not be able to get you guys some other like actual FL Studio content. So we're gonna knock. We did these 3, and then we're gonna hit Eternal Take, and then kind of go from there. And then, like I said, I got a couple other things I got for you guys from my supporters. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment section which album you like the best, or which album I need to listen to next. Let me know what's your favorite song off of each album, or what you guys think. Like, what is your grading scale? What do you think these albums deserve? What do you like from it? That's really about it. If you dislike some of these albums, or you dislike something about it, let me know too, so I can just have an understanding of what you guys like, what you dislike. Like I say, drop some more albums for me to do reviews on and whatnot, and give my 2 cents and my opinion on, and we'll kind of go from there. But if follow me on all my social media, Milan Makes Beats. If I got it, you'll find me. If I don't, you won't. And that's really about it, guys. Man, I don't want to keep you too long. That's about all I got for you guys today. And we'll reconvene next week, man. Peace.